This is the inaugural Regulatory Committee meeting. Just a reminder, the meeting is being recorded and live streamed to the Taupō District Council YouTube channel. And if we could all just start with the karakia, please. Okay, thank you for that. And just moving on to the second item on the agenda, apologies. I have apologies from Councillor Kylie Leonard, Councillor Hope Woodward and Mayor John Fennell. Could I have a mover and a seconder to, thank you Yvonne, a seconder, not many people to choose from. Councillor Murch, all those in favour, please say aye. Yeah, opposed? Carried, thank you. All right, so are there any conflicts of interest pertaining to any of the agenda items today? Okay, great, that being the case, we'll move on. There are no minutes to confirm, this being the inaugural meeting, so we'll just move straight to item 5.1. I'll hand straight over to Warwick on this one, actually.
Thank you. It's my privilege to present the first item to this committee, which is the election of the Deputy Chairperson for the Regulatory Committee. The paper under 5.1 is outlined in your agenda pack there. There are two decisions that need to be made. The first decision is which system you would like to use to elect the member, and then the second decision to be made is who you would like to appoint as the Deputy Chairperson. Happy to take the paper as read and answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions about that at all? If not, then I'd like to move from the chair that we use system B to proceed with the election of the Deputy Chair. Do I have a mover and a seconder for that? Or is there some discussion? You happy to move, Councillor Campbell, a seconder? Wonderful, thank you. All right, well the next item, the next recommendation is the election of the Deputy Chairperson. Are there any nominations from the floor?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Westerman as the Deputy Chair.
Okay.
And I'm happy to move that.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a seconder for that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, wonderful. All those in favour, please say aye. You and I. Carried, thank you. Okay, so moving on to item 5.2, and we have Molly Camel to address us. Thanks, Molly.
Thank you. Just to give an idea of the role of the Regulatory Committee, as you can see on the purpose of the committee is to exercise a range of functions relating to the reserves and roading of the district, except for those within the Mana Whakahono boundary. Meeting dates are listed on the report, and an item on the agenda will always be public forum as long as it's items relating to the agenda or relating to the terms of reference for this committee. And that's all. So.
Okay. Are there any questions from any of the members today about that? No, that being the case, I think we've got a recommendation up there, which is that the Regulatory Committee receives the information provided to support members in their role for the 2025 to 28 triennium. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Westerman, seconded by Councillor Campbell. I know. I'm still getting used to my own name. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Madam Chair, do we, as this is being put up on YouTube, do we need to do a little bit of background that this new group has taken over from Roading and Reserves, or it's been pretty publicly announced?
Well, it was in the agenda, but we can discuss it if you would like. I guess I can offer some direction there. So yes, the function of this committee previously was the Reserves and Roading Committee. Those same functions have been moved to the Regulatory Committee, and it will proceed on the basis of the standing orders and terms of reference, that's it. So I guess those will be available on the website for anyone who's interested. I won't go into all that detail here. I think, we'll bore everyone to tears, but it is available there. So thank you for that. All right, so moving on to public forum. Hello, Ken Harris from Taupō Disc Golf. Come on up. You'll have 5 minutes to address the members. There may be some questions at the end.
Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. My name is Ken Harris, president of Taupō Disc Golf Club. I want to say thank you for allowing me to speak today on behalf of our proposal for a long-term license to occupy Spa Park for the disc golf course. Just wanted to give a bit of sort of an overview of what disc golf in Spa Park has looked like over the last sort of 5+ years. It's been entirely volunteer-led, and that's to provide free and accessible recreation for really anyone, so all ages and all ability levels. We've hosted a lot of events as part of our time in Spa Park, including some large-scale events, smaller leagues, as well as junior tournaments. We are also this is a real feather in our cap, we're the only Southern Hemisphere disc golf course in the world top 100, the first time ever that's taken place, which is really amazing. It's put Taupō on the sort of world disc golf stage. We have also shared the park successfully with many other park users, groups, and events. That includes things like the inter-school kids competitions, tri-sport, trolley derby, Harriers Club, orienteering club, and all has been a successful sort of sharing of that space. We've also quietly delivered 5 years of value to Taupō, and when I say that, I refer to the last long-term plan, which focused in on vibrant and connected communities. And I think, and I'll address this a bit later on too, that we touch on those in many ways. So our club, we've got a really tight-knit group of people, 80+ members that are active at the park, active in the community as well. We've been building, maintaining course assets, and that's not just T-pads, that also includes stairs for anyone to use, as well as not just baskets, but also getting rid of invasive weeds. So we've been essentially, trying to enhance the park as best we can. We've also delivered 4 years of Kiwi Sport kids programs, not just in the schools, but at Spa Park, which I'm actually currently in the middle of delivering school tournaments at Spa Park, as well as the pitch and putt area. And that's going to eventuate in an inter-school competition on March 25th, which is next week. I'm really excited about. We've also been active in the community in other ways, such as Kids Greening Taupō Day. We've set up there. We've set up at the Winter Festival. Again, free and accessible for all to try the game, not just at Spa Park, but outside of that area. And we'll do both of those again this year. We were also really helpful, and this is that last picture on the right-hand side. We went to Mochuapa and helped with their course design. We helped with community open days to teach people the game, to get people involved out there, and I think they really loved it. I also wanted to talk about our events that I mentioned earlier. So the last 2 big ones, these are kind of the numbers that would be, I think, somewhat relevant to you guys. So in 2025 was our last Taupō Classic, 134 participants, 900-odd bed nights, and really good coverage as well. But then we got bigger. So this past January, we hosted the Australasian Open. We had 186 participants. 65 were professionals, which is one of our largest professional fields, and there were 50 international players that came from overseas just to play at Spa Park, which is pretty amazing. 1,150 bed nights, $216,000 plus GDP impact, and the media numbers were amazing. We were at 500,000 YouTube views on the coverage, as well as 500,000 social media views, and that's just the top 12 videos that I could find. We've had a lot of support for disc golf from the local community. Those logos are all our greatest sponsors, and they've been amazing for our events as well as the course. Sonia from Taupō Bungee wrote a really cool letter sort of supporting disc golf in Taupō, saying it's a forward-thinking investment in the community well-being. It strengthens Taupō's wider recreational network and encourages visitors to extend their stay and explore more of what the region has to offer. Which is amazing to hear from her. She's been a great partner from the get-go. And also NZDG wrote us a letter. That's New Zealand Disc Golf, that's our governing body. They want to reaffirm the importance of Spa Park to the wider disc golf community, saying that Taupō Disc Golf is a leading factor in developing the game in the North Island, as well as remaining a favorite destination. So we really draw people from around the country and internationally to come and play here.
Sorry to interrupt,
yeah,
Ken.
sorry.
We're at 5 minutes, but we don't have anyone else for the public forum, so I'll give you a little bit longer, okay?
All right, thanks.
Have you got much to get through?
One more.
Okay.
One more. Sorry about that. So the overall impact in terms of the numbers. So this is taken from UDisc, which is the app that we all use for scoring. They capture between 10 and 30% of the actual rounds that are played. Not everyone scores on UDisc. So the numbers that you see can be multiplied by up to 10 times to get the real numbers. So, for example, in Spa Park in 2025, 1,100 players played the course, 8,600 rounds. Lifetime for Spa Park course, 31,000 rounds played, but again, you can multiply that by up to 10, so maybe up to 300,000 rounds have been played in Spa Park, which is huge, amazing numbers for disc golf. And we're now the third most played course in New Zealand, up from 7th last year. And out of 17,000 courses worldwide, we're number 381 most played, which is really amazing to be in that top echelon. And then one last thing. So the last long-term plan also mentioned that these sorts of recreational spaces are for the well-being of residents. They support attracting visitors, and they support attracting and retaining workers and businesses. And again, I think we touch on a lot of that with disc golf. The last photo at the bottom is Nathaniel and Raquel Crawford, and they moved to Taupō late last year from Tauranga. And Nathaniel said that Taupō was his top spot to move to because of the Spa Park disc golf course. And I think that says a lot about what it means to people. That's all I had. Sorry for going over.
Not a problem at all. Look, I'll put it out to the members. They may have some questions of clarification, if that's okay. And I see Duncan's got his button on there. Councillor Campbell.
Oh yeah, just a couple of questions. One is you mentioned in the it is mentioned in the report here, the staff report, some minor conflicts. I mean, is that any trips to A&E or something? I can imagine one of those. I played it once. One of those back of the head wouldn't.
Yeah, so I mean, it's we've not heard of any issues at Spa with anyone getting hit. I actually looked up, and I left it in my bag, but a report on, I went to ACC and requested information regarding dog bites and Frisbee hits. And in Taupō in the last 5 years, there have been 740 dog bites and 10 Frisbee hits. And that's not necessarily at Spa Park. Those are just to give you a sense of the numbers of what the dangers are for these various things. So an off-lead dog park versus a Frisbee that is being thrown by a person that you can communicate with, I guess is sort of the weighing up the risks. But yeah, in terms of conflict at the park, we really haven't seen much of anything, to be honest. Yeah, it's just a matter of communicating, and disc golfers, especially our club, certainly know the rules of engagement, which is let everyone else pass through before throwing into open space.
And my other question is, I'm just interested, what would one of the top 10 courses look like? I mean, what would that have that we don't have?
Steve, you want to weigh in? I mean, so this is Steve Lawson. He's our vice president, and he's been overseas to some of those amazing courses. I haven't had the privilege, but it's all right if he addresses.
Yeah, hi everyone. So out of that top 100, 20 of them are free to play. A lot of them are private and commercial properties that are operating. You pay to play. So yeah, Spa Park is it's fighting. It's up, battling higher than it is because we're not getting a massive amount of investment like people are running it as a business. So it's just a free open to play course.
But what are some of the attributes, I guess, Steve?
They're basically investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into facilities, support facilities. So there might be shops there with cafes and bars and wraparound things to make the experience better.
Yeah, so like up-praise ski sort of thing. Just the whole.
Yeah, it's just higher
a
end.
bar halfway and.
Yep.
Yeah. No, okay.
So like, yeah, tee pads would be quite high end. Some elevated wooden platforms. The baskets would be potentially on, you can imagine raised plinths with sort of a lot of earthworks to create quite a featured basket that was raised up. So yeah, some of the look and feel of the courses would be potentially even more manicured as well.
Thank you for that. That's fantastic. Are there any other questions from members? Questions of clarification? Councillor Westerman.
Well, I'm sitting here a bit embarrassed because a number of years ago, could have been 5 or 6, first term councillor, I couldn't understand the sport at all, and I thought Taupo would end up with a whole pile of the baskets left being unused. So my bad, got that wrong. So you have my attention, and it's fabulous, the people I talk to who love going up there. I did have an email from a person in the public just last week. She said that some of the area up there is dog off-lead area, and I just picking up on your comment there, does that clash with the area that you have, I couldn't quite see it, where all your baskets and that are?
So we do, yeah, so the whole area, I guess, that we play in is an off-lead dog park area. But like I said, we've not had any issues with, I guess, us getting in the way of others. Like I said, we wait for them to clear the space. And we might raise our hand and say, hey, we're going to throw if that's okay. And all they, oftentimes is, oh, no problem. And they'll walk, 30 paces that way, and they're more or less out of the way. So yeah, I'd say it's been a really nice sort of transition to have disc golf included into Spa Park. And like I said, I think added value. To be honest, the biggest issue we have is the poop. But yeah.
I can imagine. Are there any other questions at all, or are we happy with the presentation so far? Okay, all right. Well, in that case, we have a recommendation that states that the Regulatory Committee receives comments from members of the public. Can I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Murch, thank you. A seconder? Councillor Campbell. All those in favour, please say aye. Opposed? Carried. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you. Thank you guys very much for allowing us to speak.
Okay, so we can move now on to item 5.4, which incidentally is a request for a new licence, Taupō Disc Golf at Spa Thermal Park. Can we have Billy V up to the presenters table, please? Now, I'll just give the members a bit of an idea of how I intend to run things. We're going to hear from Billy, who will speak to the report here, and then I'm going to open it up for questions of clarification to Billy pertaining to the paper. I'll then thank Billy for her time, and then we'll enter into debate from there. Okay? So go right ahead, Billy.
Through the chair, thank you. Good afternoon, Billy V, Kai Tohu Tohu Paparahui, Reserves Advisor with the Parks and Reserves team. So, the Spa Thermal Park, or more commonly known as Spa Park, is a popular recreation reserve in Taupō. Thank you to the club president and the members of the club for the earlier presentation. I won't go into the report, but I did want to touch base about the public consultation. So, should the committee agree in principle to the recommendation, public consultation is required and set to commence Thursday 19th of March to Sunday 19th of April. This reflects the 1 month public consultation period required under the Reserves Act 1977, and a public notice will also be published in the local newspaper, which is also a requirement by the Act. So to capture the interested groups or individuals, we will have signs erected at multiple points around the reserve with QR codes so the public can submit to the proposal. I've included standard consultation questions, but I have included questions that capture the recreational activities the submitter undertakes on the reserve and how often they utilise Spa Park. So, and then also a standard comment box is provided. The results will be presented in a deliberation report for a future committee meeting to make the final decision. Thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks for that, Billy. Members, do you have any questions for Billy? I see Councillor Campbell does. Go right ahead. Yep.
So this public consultation, correct me if I'm wrong, that'll be in the form of a thing in the local paper, just sort of a notice, and it will be published every week for that month, or just once, right? No, okay, and that's it, right? Okay.
Through the chair, yes, just once in the local newspaper.
Okay.
Thanks for that. Any other questions at all? No? Okay, well, thank you for that, Billy. You can take a seat, and we'll enter into a bit of a debate here. Are there any statements or any discussions? Are there any discussion points amongst the members at all? Councillor Murch?
I think just looking at the Māori engagement here, I note that we haven't had any engagement with iwi hapu or marae in terms of the disc golf intention on Spa Park. I wondered if that was the same with our neighbouring property kind of organisations such as Otumuheke down there, and they've got hapu and stuff running the cafe and whatnot down there, and also the grandeur. I wonder if that's part of the engagement plan as well.
Okay, that's probably a question for Billy, actually. Are you able to answer that or perhaps take that on board?
Through the chair, thank you for the question. Yeah, so we can definitely do some, we can contact Patuiwi, I believe is the trust, north of Spa Park. We can include them in, just in the consultation, and we will probably request they submit through the actual website as well, but we can support them in that. Yes.
Okay,
Through the chair, while we've got it, could I just ask another question? Yeah, I just thought about so in the event that we do get some submissions for or against, or for and against, so the process would be that it would come to this committee for approval or not, and those submissions would either get heard in a public forum or part of the paper, or how would that work?
Through the chair, yes. So in the submission, one of the standard questions is, would you like to be heard? And it would give the submitter the opportunity to present at a future committee meeting. And so, sorry.
Public forum, probably. I imagine,
Public forum, yeah.
Well, in actual fact, there will be full hearings and deliberations undertaken at this committee. Yeah, just the normal process for public consultation.
No, I'm
It'll
just
all be
wondering
brought here.
Sorry, say someone objects. I mean, it's just a point of detail, but and they want to be heard, so they would be heard during the public forum.
No, we'll have actual hearings for...
Oh, separate from this committee.
Yeah, part of this
altogether.
committee, there will be hearings to hear from submitters,
Oh, right,
for or
right.
against, and then we'll enter into deliberations from that.
Right. It would be at this meeting.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, great. Any other questions for Billy? No? Okay, we'll try again, Billy. That's okay. All right, so is there any discussion needed to be had from anyone at all? Councillor Murch?
Just that I think that it's so awesome that Taupō is actually up there among one of the leading disc golf, setups in the country, and then also part of that higher percentage internationally. So I think it's an awesome initiative and very relevant to Spa Park as well.
Great, thank you. Duncan,
No, I just voiced my support for it. I mean, I gave it a go once. I bet there's a lot of missing discs in the bushes there. But good. I'm all for it.
Okay, fantastic. If there is no further discussion or debate, we do have a recommendation, which is up on the screen, that the Regulatory Committee agrees in principle to grant a new licence to occupy to Taupō Disc Club Incorporated for a term of 10 years from the 17th of February 2024 to 16th of February 2034 for its courses at Spa Thermal Park, pursuant to section 54(1)(d) of the Reserves Act 1997. I think it's 77. Okay, subject to the outcome of public consultation. Do I have a mover for that recommendation, please?
I'm happy
Councillor
to move.
Murch, thank you. A seconder? Councillor Westerman. All those in favour, please say aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item 5.5. Billy, you're back up, I think. Request for new ground leases at Lawton Street Reserve.
Through the chair, thank you. So Central Kids Trust and First Taupō Scouts Association are the lessees on the Lawton Street Reserve. The reason for the delay in requesting for a new lease is because we have recently completed the reclassification process that was envisioned in the Reserve Management Plan. So we reclassified it from recreation to local purpose community buildings. So the land occupied by the lessee's buildings is the area that was reclassified, and now the future leases align with legislation permitted under the Reserves Act 1977. So the proposed terms will align the expiry date, so they expire at the same time. I'll take the rest of the report as read, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks for that, Billy. Are there any questions from the members, please? For Billy? No, thanks, Billy. All right. So any statements, any discussion needed for this item at all? No?
Oh, so Chair, yeah, I just see no reason
Councillor
why.
Campbell?
Sorry, I see no reason not to go with the recommendations.
Okay.
Yes, I agree with the recommendation. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Any other discussion at all at this point? No, that being the case, let's have a look at the recommendation. There are two parts to this recommendation. The first being agree to grant a new ground lease to Central Kids Trust at 29 Lawton Street in accordance with section 61(2)(a), Part A of the Reserves Act 1977 for a term of 10 years commencing 1st of May 2025 to 30th of April 2035. The second part of the recommendation is that we agree to grant a new ground lease to the First Taupō Scouts Association at 32 Whetatia Street in accordance with section 61(2)(a), section A of the Reserves Act 1977 for a term of 15 years commencing 1 May 2020 to the 30th of April 2035. Do I have a mover and a seconder for that recommendation, please? Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Murch. All those in favour, please say aye. Anyone opposed? Carried. Okay, moving on to item 5.6, extension proposal, Kinloch Community Hall, licence to occupy, and we've got Rhino with us today. Thanks, Rhino.
Kia ora, through the chair. I'm here to present the extension proposal for the Kinloch Community Hall licence to occupy. The purpose of this report is to consider a request to extend the licence to occupy issued to the Central Kids Trust at Kinloch Domain for 1 year with an additional 1 year rights of renewal through 1 December 2029. I take the paper as read. Are there any questions?
Thank you so much for that, Rhino. Can I just ask a quick question about the right of renewal? Is it your intention for that right to be the tenant's right, or is that a first right to negotiate at that point? I just note the distinction is if it's a tenant's right to renew, we don't get to say no if we want to, if we don't want to renew. Is that the intention, or?
Yes.
It is. Okay. All right. Thanks for that. Are there any other questions around the table at all? Councillor Campbell.
I'll just do the chair. I mean, you mentioned on one of the disadvantages of extending the licence was limits hall availability for other potential users on the 3 weekdays it's being used. So is there other inquiries for someone other? Are you aware of any other potential users wanting to use it on those 3 weekdays?
We manage the community halls through an app called Space to Go. So we track the needs of the community and all bookings for the time periods that they have occupied the hall. There have been no other requests, so the hall is still available to book at all other times.
Thank you for that, Councillor Campbell. Councillor Murch.
I have a question. Thank you. Can you just clarify, is this the only kindergarten in Kinloch?
Perhaps I can help with that because I was on the KRG. Yes, it is currently the only kindergarten out there. Councillor Westman.
Just a query, I know somewhere loosely we might have allocated some funds through council for renovations to the building, but that's not going to interfere with this lease if we continue with it? And if we then decided if we were going to carry out that work or not?
We did allocate funds, which was 2 years ago, was the further development was cancelled to extend the hall. So at the moment it is basically renewals that is happening. There is a broader piece of work being done by Parks and Reserves, but no, it won't influence the outcome of that.
Okay, any other questions at all for Rhino? Okay, that's great. Thanks, Rhino. You can step back, and if there's any discussion about this topic, we can enter into that state now. Any questions or statements? I just want to be sure that the recommendation does reflect the outcome that we're looking for here, because with it being a right of renewal for the tenant, it is effectively a potential 2-year term rather than 1. So if it's intended that it's only 1 and then we discuss it again, then it should be first right of refusal. However, if it's a right for the tenant to renew, it'll be potentially a 2-year term without our ability to... Is that correct? Yeah, okay. All right, well, in that case, do I have a... Well, I'll read the recommendation first, actually. That's probably the best way. Okay, so the recommendation is that the Regulatory Committee authorises a further 1-year extension. Oh, with 2 additional... It's actually a 3-year term.
It's a 3-year term.
Are we happy with that? Does that make any difference to the members at all? Well, the problem with a renewal, it's being renewed, but it's the right of renewal is with the tenant, not us. So that means it could potentially be a 3-year term. So as long as that is the intention, okay, on that basis, everyone happy to proceed? The recommendation is that the Regulatory Committee authorises a further 1-year extension with 2 additional 1-year rights of renewal to the licence for the kindergarten purposes for 3 days a week, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday, Tuesday and Friday at Kinloch Community Hall for the Central Kids Kindergarten commencing 1 December 2026 with a final expiry of 1st of December 2029. Do I have a mover and a seconder for that recommendation? Councillor Westerman, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All those in favour, please say aye. Against? Carried. Okay, moving on now to item 5.7, a road network update. We have an Abdal to present to us. Thanks. Sorry, Anoop.
Yeah, that's all right. Sorry. Good afternoon, Chair and Councillor. My name is Anoop Dahal. So I'm a asset transport engineer. Just to propose traffic control changes for me basically today, just to improve road safety and traffic flow. The first proposal is no right turn restriction at the intersection of Nauru Crescent and Tauhara Ridge Drive, and another one at Manga Street and Tauhara Ridge Drive. So the problem here, not really, the issue here is that vehicles have been turning right onto the one-way section of this Tauhara Ridge Drive. So to address this, we have actually implemented the sign, have installed the sign, but they will not legally enforceable until council passes this resolution. And the next one is the bus only parking space outside Taupō Intermediate School at 22 Kotara Street. So the proposed timing for me is 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. and to 2:30 to 3:30 in the evening. So currently the bus has been parking along the Kotara Street, which creates the visibility issues near the Tawa Street exit and basically blocking the driveways. So providing this dedicated bus parking space will allow buses to stop safely without obstructing the traffic. Thank you. Happy to take the questions.
Thanks for that. Are there any questions at all from the members? Councillor Campbell?
Yeah, so it's an existing loading zone now, that whole area?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just interested. So, but the buses could have been using that anyway?
Uh,
No? Really?
The passenger or the parents' vehicle been parking over that section, so I don't
Oh,
think so.
yeah,
It has
okay.
been
Yeah,
went
makes
to the
sense.
committee meeting before, so
Yes.
we can't really enforce that.
Okay. No, fair enough. Oh, well, in terms of, so the intention of the loading zone was not really for vehicle, well, just parents. That's how it's been treated, right? Okay. So they just have to park somewhere else a little bit further away. There. Okay.
Are there any other questions at all? No? I do have a question actually, Anoop. Do you think these times accurately reflect the pressure points, just given, kids arrive at school between 8 and 9, they're usually there by 9, and also some buses do tend to arrive a little bit later. Do you think you've covered the problem time frames adequately?
Through the chair, I think it is quite accurate time because the request been come from the compliance officials, which they regularly monitor the situation. So they have requested this timing, and I have done a little bit studies. So this time,
So the
work.
compliance
Yeah,
team
yeah,
have
yeah,
suggested
yeah,
this
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Duncan, do you have another question?
Yeah, just had it occurred to me. So it's marked out in paint as a bus stop, well, will be, and the signpost will be bus stop only those hours. You don't need to add. Well, it was at other time. We want it to be available for other people to park outside the bus hours. And just a question of, are you going to add that rider school days only? Because of course, school holidays, that doesn't really apply.
Yeah, through the chair, yes. So it will still be a loading zone because we want people to utilize that space as much as possible. But except that timing there, it will be a signage put in place for those timing only the bus park.
Oh, I see. So it's going to stay a loading zone at other times. But do we need to put a school days only as well? Well, I mean, it's not really. It's fully pedantic because no one's going to be unloading kids in public holidays anyway. But
One more question from me. I'm just following on from my previous question. Did we talk to the school about this? Have we talked about timing and that this is happening?
I'm not sure. This is because this is one of my colleagues managing the job, so I need to talk to him. I'm not sure. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, I'm not doubting our compliance team. We should really be engaging with the school on those times, I think, just to make sure we're entirely accurate. I'm not so sure about this one. We might have to...
Excuse the pun, park this one.
We might have to just put this one aside for now, just until we're sure that the school really should be consulted about that. And I think we should also talk to them about the timing and make sure we've got that right. So if you don't mind, I think we might have to table this one for the next meeting.
Sorry, through the chair. I agree as well, Rachel, and just looking at the imagery, the visibility going downhill, it's quite hard to see when you're a student leaving the Taupō Intermediate School, and if there was a massive bus sitting right there, you're trying to cross the road, it could create some risk of, health and safety, because if you've ever been outside of Taupō Intermediate during those peak hours, it's quite heavy with terms of traffic flow. And not to mention we have the Taupō Hospital just down the road, ambulances rushing in and out of there all the time. I think we need to just consider visibility here for students when crossing the roads, and I'd agree that we need to talk to the school before we go ahead and make this decision.
Yeah, thanks for that. Duncan, have you got a question?
yeah, just through the chair, an observation of mine.
If you've got a question for the presenter, if not, I might just move into debate if we want to discuss it further. Is that all right?
Oh, no, yeah, okay. That's all right.
Yeah. Carry on, Duncan. We can have a bit of a chat before we officially table it, if you like.
Oh, no, okay. No, an observation is that these, what are they called? Road network updates. this is a classic example really. We get a proposed change, but we don't have so much information about it. It's like a paragraph or so.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, that's probably
we
something
could be doing with.
I'll talk to you about that one afterwards. We can talk that one through, but just in the interest of getting through the agenda item, look, the main reason I bring this up is because I know that the school has a very active bus monitoring system. And at the moment, the buses actually go into the intermediate as well. So we're going to have to work in with their processes, I think. So I'm sorry, we'll have to table this one, but we can reconvene at the next meeting. Yeah. Have I done everything I need to do there for...
Through the chair, what about the first? Are we going to address the first part of the
yeah.
recommendation?
Yeah, right. Let me get back to that. Is that up on the screen?
Yep, I'm working on it.
So have a mover to move the recommendation without number 2.
Okay, can we just strike through number 2 or something? If we strike out number 2, we can then just address the recommendation. Maybe just strike through. Won't be a second, we'll just dot our I's and cross it. There we go. Okay, so the amended recommendation now reflects that, pursuant to the Taupō District Council bylaw, the Regulatory Committee imposes the following traffic controls and or prohibitions on roads and or public spaces in the Taupō District. We only have the one, which is to install no right turn signs, which is intended to improve safety and traffic flow. There are some raised vegetated central medians here which will be damaged by vehicles crossing them. So where intersection of Nauru Crescent and Tauhara Ridge Drive and Manga Street and Tauhara Ridge Drive. So if we're happy with how that reads, do I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Westerman, seconded by Councillor Murch. All those in favour, please say aye. Against? Carried. Okay, well that brings us to the end of our inaugural Regulatory Committee meeting. Thank you very much, members, staff. We'll close with the closing karakia. Thanks very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice afternoon.